Before Lego became a symbol of childhood imagination, creativity, and endless possibility, it was born out of loss. Not inspiration, not play. Loss. In 1932, Denmark was drowning in the Great Depression. Money was scarce. Hope was thinner. And Ole Kirk Christensen was a carpenter watching his business collapse piece by piece. Orders disappeared. Clients vanished. The future closed in. And when everything seemed already broken, tragedy arrived again. A fire burned his workshop to the ground. Years of work turned to ash overnight. Most people would have stopped there. But Ole rebuilt. Not bigger. Smaller. Cheaper. Simpler. He began making wooden toys because toys were one of the few things parents would still buy, even when they had nothing. Not because they were frivolous, but because children needed joy when adults had none. That's the first strange origin. Lego wasn't built to make children smarter. It was built to survive poverty. Ole named the company Lego from the Danish phrase leg godt, meaning play well. It sounded gentle, innocent. But hidden inside that name was a quiet philosophy. Play was not a waste of time. It was practice for life. Ole believed play taught resilience, patience, and problem solving. Long before psychologists caught up, he understood something essential. That building things teaches you how the world works. Then tragedy struck again. Another fire. Another workshop destroyed. And again, Ole refused to quit. He rebuilt. Again. This time with stricter discipline, higher standards, and a rule that would define Lego forever. Only the best is good enough. This wasn't a slogan. It was obsession. Toys that cracked were destroyed. Imperfect pieces were thrown away. Profit was sacrificed for precision. In the 1940s, something strange happened. Ole saw a new machine. Plastic injection molding. At the time, plastic toys were considered cheap, ugly, and inferior. Wood was tradition. Plastic was trash. Everyone told him not to do it. He did it anyway. Lego invested in a machine that cost more than the company could afford. A massive risk. One bad decision away from collapse. And it almost failed. For years, plastic toys barely sold. Stores didn't trust them. Parents preferred wood. Employees doubted the move. But Ole believed plastic had one hidden advantage: consistency. Every piece could be identical, perfectly repeatable. That idea would change everything. In 1958, Lego introduced the interlocking brick system. Studs and tubes that snapped together with just enough friction to hold, but not so much that a child couldn't pull them apart. This wasn't an accident. It was engineered, calculated, obsessive. And the tolerance was so precise that Lego bricks made decades ago still fit perfectly with bricks made today. That's the second strange origin. Lego didn't sell toys. It sold a system. Unlike most toys, Lego didn't tell children what to build. No script. No correct ending. Just parts. Infinite combinations. A quiet invitation to imagine a world that increasingly standardized behavior. Lego gave control to the child. And children responded instinctively. But success didn't come instantly. Lego nearly collapsed again in the 1960s, when warehouses burned, supply chains failed, and expansion strained finances. All died before seeing Lego become a global phenomenon. The company passed to his son Godfred, who refined the philosophy even further. He introduced themed sets, not to limit creativity, but to give beginners a starting point, a doorway into imagination. Then came the golden age. Lego spread across the world. Schools adopted it, parents trusted it, children loved it. The brick became universal. Language didn't matter. Culture didn't matter. A brick snapped the same way everywhere. But here's the twist most people don't know. Lego almost destroyed itself by forgetting its origin. In the 1990s, Lego chased trends, video games, theme parks, complex pieces, over-designed sets, too many specialized parts, too many directions, too little imagination. Creativity was being replaced by consumption. And the system began to fracture. Costs exploded. Profits vanished. By the early 2000s, Lego was on the brink of bankruptcy. The company that taught children how to build had forgotten how to build itself. The recovery was brutal and humbling. Lego cut products, simplified designs, returned to core bricks. They listened to fans, adult fans especially. Who understood Lego better than executives did? They rediscovered the original idea. A system, not a toy. A platform, not a product. That's when Lego transformed again. Movies, games, and franchises returned. But now they serve the brick, not the other way around. Even the Lego movie carried a strange message. Instructions matter, but imagination matters more. A corporate blockbuster accidentally criticizing corporate control. And here we are now. Lego isn't just a toy, it's nostalgia. Therapy, architecture, education, art. It's used by engineers and children alike. It survives screens, trends, and attention collapse because it demands participation. You can't scroll Lego. You have to touch it, build it, fail, rebuild. That's the deepest, strange origin of all. Lego teaches failure without punishment. Pieces fall apart. Nothing breaks. You try again. In a world obsessed with perfection and permanence, Lego quietly trains resilience. And maybe that's why it lasts. Because Lego was never about toys. It was about rebuilding after collapse. Again, and again, and again. As Lego stabilized financially, something unexpected happened. The people most passionate about the bricks were no longer children. They were adults, engineers, architects, designers, people who grew up, left Lego behind, and then quietly returned to it when the world became too abstract, too fast, too digital. Adult fans didn't just collect sets. They modified them, reverse engineered them, built cities, machines, working robots, and entire fictional worlds. Lego became a language again, not nostalgia, fluency. This forced the company to confront a strange realization. The brick wasn't a phase of childhood. It was a tool that scaled with intelligence. The same pieces that taught a child balance could teach an adult systems thinking. Lego didn't simplify thought. It externalized it. You could see ideas take shape. You could debug mistakes with your hands. That tactile feedback is rare in modern life. And this is where Lego quietly entered psychology. Studies began showing that building reduces anxiety, increases focus, and restores a sense of control. When you build with Lego, the rules are clear. Gravity works. Pieces connect or they don't. Failure is reversible. In a world filled with invisible systems and abstract consequences, Lego offers something grounding. You act. You see results. That's no accident. Lego bricks are deliberately constrained. Only so many shapes. Only so many connections. And paradoxically, those limits increase creativity. Total freedom overwhelms the brain. Constraint gives direction. Lego understood this long before creativity became a buzzword. The brick doesn't ask what you want to be. It asks what you can build with what you have. This is why Lego survives screens. Digital creativity is infinite, but intangible. You swipe, undo, delete. Nothing resists you. Lego resists just enough. Your hands learn patience. Your mind learns sequencing. Your frustration turns into insight. This friction is not a flaw. It's the lesson. Then there's the question of instructions. Critics say instructions limit imagination. But Lego discovered something counterintuitive. Instructions don't kill creativity. They train it. They teach structure, order, and confidence. Once a builder understands the system, they break away naturally. Instructions are scaffolding, not cages. This mirrors education itself. You don't start with freedom. You start with fundamentals. Lego accidentally became a model for learning. STEM programs adopted it. Robotics teams used it. Engineers admitted they learned spatial reasoning from bricks long before software. Lego became proof that play and rigor aren't opposites. They're partners. But there's another layer to Lego's strange origin: control. Lego is precise to the micron. The tolerances are almost obsessive. Bricks are tested, destroyed, retested. This level of control ensures compatibility across decades. A child can inherit bricks from a parent and build without friction. Time collapses. Generations connect through plastic geometry. That continuity is rare. Most products demand replacement. Lego demands preservation. Old bricks are not obsolete. They are still valid, still useful, still part of the system. Lego quietly rejects planned obsolescence. And in doing so, it earns trust. Yet Lego isn't naive. It knows modern attention is fragmented. That's why it collaborates with franchises. But the strange thing is this: franchises borrow Lego's power more than Lego borrows theirs. Star Wars fades, superheroes reboot. Lego remains. Because stories change, but systems endure. Even Lego's failures teach this lesson. Video games didn't replace bricks, they supplemented them. Theme parks didn't define Lego, they orbited. Everything works only when it serves the core system. When Lego forgets, that it stumbles. When it remembers, it thrives. There's a reason Lego bricks appear in therapy rooms, classrooms, and offices. Building externalizes thought. It slows time. It creates a small world where problems are solvable. In an era of infinite scroll and endless noise, Lego offers something radical. Completion. A beginning, a middle, an end. And maybe that's why Lego feels timeless. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It waits, patiently, until someone feels the urge to build something instead of consume something. That urge is ancient. Humans built long before they explained. Lego taps into that instinct with industrial precision and philosophical depth. A strange origin for a toy company. Or maybe not a toy company at all. Maybe Lego is what happens when survival turns into philosophy. And philosophy turns into plastic bricks that quietly teach the world how to think.